I'm sure you're eager to depart.
Fresh fish!
Race you to the coral?
No contest.
What? Just because you have webbed fingers and I can't...
Good, you are here. Clario has made good on his promise. We are making ready to free your ship. I say still that you are fortunate. The ship was nearly lost, but it will float. For how long, I cannot say. My spells do not conjure ships. Come, we will see your Defiant out to sea.
We should address the matter of our ship's resources before we get underway. It saddens me to inform you that we lost several crew and most of our provisions during the storm. However, Port Margé appears to be well supplied, and I expect the recent disaster has left several sailors in want of a ship. I suggest we contract for additional supplies and crew before we return to open water, or our voyage may indeed be a short one.
Cado, Waterocado. On behalf of the Principi Patrina, I must request we meet in parley. E così. It has been some time since I last asked another's permission. I have heard some marvelous tales regarding your ventures in the Deerwood. In fact, you are the first dragon slayer I have ever met, outside of a grave. Some fools would seek to make a fortune by pilfering from one such as you.
He's done his research. Might as well hear him out.
I believe you have met such a fool. Captain Benweth of the Drake. Gelarde. Then I am keen to show my rascal of a compatriot some much-needed humility.
For Artees, do my job for me, friend. Hope you don't die in the effort.
Benweth's Drake took damage during the storm. He is rather an unrefined creature.
Unrefined? Begging your pardon, Captain, but as for Benweth, that sucker of squid tits be as
That would be felicitous indeed, as I believe the traitor Remaro hides there as well.
Wouldn't have even thought of it if you hadn't brought it up, sir. Now, I ain't hardly in any hurry to leave the fine company of the gentlemen of leisure. Adding to that, you sail into Fort Deadlight not knowing you're in... Oh, you won't be regretting this, Watcher.
He's not sleeping near my berth, I promise you that much.
I sail now for Dunwich, my own safe port.
The ring of a bell comes to you on a cold wind. The ring comes again and again, until soon the air is full with the sound of 1,000 bells ringing all at once. You are alone, and then you are not. An indistinct figure stands before you, flickering between forms like a fire-cast shadow. A fixed, taunting grin. Bottomless black eyes. A yawning chasm in the earth. The aspects of Bareth, the Usher, and the Pallid Knight shift in and out of focus. And at their back, 4 indistinct shades hover. You feel an eternity stretch out behind each of them, reaching back to places so distant and yet so near you cannot comprehend their size. The shifting image of Bareth settles on the aspect of the Pallid Knight.
Watcher.
Her voice is the discordant clangor of gongs struck out of time.
I remind you of our bargain. Time is short, and your soul dangles in the balance.
Her wan face contorts into what, on mortal kith, might be called a smile.
Do not give me cause to doubt your commitment, Watcher.
The figure nearest Bareth dissolves and reforms in the image of a thin-lipped, ancient crone, whose face has felt the melting kiss of fire. The goddess Wodica strides forward.
Does Aethys frighten you, Bareth? He should. Magran subdued Aethys' influence once before.
From out of Wodica's shadow shuffles a hunched, bald man you recognize as the god Scan. He does not speak, but stares up at Wodica, with naked loathing plain on his ruined face. Wodica steeples her long, knob-jointed fingers.
A moon would do the job nicely.
The figure beside the aspect of Bareth, the ash falls to the tiles and reveals a molten-skinned woman, leaning on a monstrous, wicked-edged broad.
I acted in haste during the Saints' War. You will not goad me into doing the same. To move against him while his plans are unknown would be the height of foolishness.
The Pallid Knight tilts her head to the side and gives you the long-suffering
No.
Another of the silent figures steps forward.
Let's all take a deep, calming breath. Perhaps cooler heads will prevail.
Behind Helia's words, you hear the soft coo of doves.
Aethys has been separated from us for too long. Isn't it possible he intends only to gather enough souls to reclaim his realm in the beyond? He should be welcomed.
You look up then into avian eyes. Through them, you see clouds of starlings converge and a Scan shuffles forward.
Yes, yes. We should welcome Aethys' return to the fold. Then, when he believes himself to be in our good graces, we do as Wedica suggests, and crush him into the earth.
Scan pauses, inspecting you.
Ah, and here is the Watcher who wiped dear, desperate Alice's mind. You could have let my followers help her kill the man who tormented her. But you did not.
Scan licks the ragged edge of his lipless mouth and grins.
I did not expect such a deliciously ruthless idea from you, Helia.
Helia's feathered crest stands on end.
You wretched little creature.
The Pallid Knight gestures for silence.
Aethys cannot be killed, but he may be subdued. Yet to do so will take immense power and time. Both stand in his favor.
Magran grits her black glass teeth.
That is why we must ascertain his plans before he has the chance to put them into motion.
She begins to pace. Her steps leave little trails of fire in her wake. Magran stops and balls her hands into flaming fists.
Even if we manage to destroy his current form, there is the possibility he could return, if he has not already absorbed all of his children.
Wodica waves the gods to silence.
Aethys.
Her voice takes on a sharp, almost panicked edge.
We will act when it is appropriate to.
The Pallid Knight steps away from the half-circle of assembled gods. The words she speaks next come not from her mouth, but from...
Follow him, Watcher.
The black of the pallid night's irises expand until her eyes are as dark and cold as...
Your debt to me remains unpaid.
She stares at you, unblink. You blink open your eyes and find yourself on the floor of your ship's cabin, alone.
I shall.
Thank you again for maintaining my story in front of Vanessa and the others. I didn't enjoy deceiving them, but it seemed simpler than the alternative. I'm working against one of the most secretive organizations in all of Aora. One with a rather troubled history as far as animancy is concerned. Believe me, I take no pleasure in duplicity. After we parted, I set out to destroy the Leaden Key. It's controlled us for too long. So for 5 years, I've been tracking down Leaden Key circles, searching for the places where they operate in secret. Trying to undo them. The task has been more difficult than I anticipated. I don't think I fully understood the weight of the decisions I would... It was much easier when I only had to follow someone else's lead. I wish I knew. After we defeated Theos, I thought the hard part of undoing his work would be tracking down... Perhaps this would be easier with an example. I went to a village in Old Valia, a run-down backwater of a place. Aye, right home like it was. Centuries ago, the Leaden Key had intervened to end some heretical cult. The details were lost, but what had endured was a practice of ritual bloodletting. A gruesome, pointless tradition. At every full moon, the villagers would feed the soil with their blood. No one, young or old, sick or hale, was exempt. Or they would bleed themselves to the point of fainting. In the days that followed, a couple would die of exhaustion. That's where it gets complicated. The village... Wicked old Bonebag! He was a tyrant. So I arranged for him to have an... I thought so. The old man died. They were convinced, so they... Instead of a handful dying each year, a few perished every week. Is it? I keep wondering what I might have done differently, or how I could have known better. Then it I want...
Yes?
I must say, our adventures together have been a welcome change of pace. That we do. When we...
Indeed.
Ship life sure is an adventure, ain't it? Just think of all the places we can sail to, all the sights we could see. Tell me what's on your mind? They're there in my head when I sleep, and sometimes I can taste them on the back of my tongue like a smear of grit. Will we? Ought we? I just don't know. I trust you, Watcher. I swear I do. I worry sometimes about what's gonna happen to me. It's not like I can turn my back on my duty to my god. We talking during the Saints' War, or after he died? No need to fiddle-foot around. Sure thing, Watcher.
You're far from home, farmer.
Why do we gotta be farmers just because we're from Deerwood?
Are you a farmer?
Yeah, but you can't just assume.
I'm the harbor master, Kauha. I must ask... Is that so?
Show them. Show them what you are. Yes. Yes. That's it.
What's the matter with you? What are you doing? If you're trying to scare us with some cipher mischief, save the purple flames for the tribes of the Outer Islands.
Now.
What? What is this?
Run for it!
Everybody saw that, right? It wasn't just me.
Where is my postinago of a brother? You there? Have you seen Laro Badato? Madico, where is that spoiled brat? I'm trying to be the responsible one in the family, and Laro is past due for a company meeting.
Must be nice to be a layabout.
Fuck. I am angry and jealous in equal measure. You'd think this district was a maze. The spirit magnet. If you desire to get in the graces of the... Could I persuade you to watch out for Laro? I'd pay generously for... I'm concerned, because Laro tends to feud with you. Laro and his miscreant. If you see...
Well, we do...
I'm here. I shall.
The Queen is holding court today with the Valians and Rowattians.
How long before they're killing each other?
Wager on it?
Of course.